You think we're gonna beat all these games?
Nope.
Backlog boys.
No, probably not. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you, Juan, for welcoming me and everyone
Yes.
back to Fire Emblem Sacred Stones.
Oh, wait, watch this. Ready?
What?
He's got a little, see that?
Well, he's got a
Kinda
glow.
cool. Yeah.
He's got underglow. Is he a Latin American druid? He's got a body kit and an underglow on his robe.
Yeah.
Hey man, you want to see something cool? He's got like hydraulics. And he's just like bouncing around and like. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
I hope people don't think that's racist.
that was great though. Like,
He's just a druid from East LA, dude. He can't help it.
let's see, who do we want to get that juicy EXP on killing this guy?
Vaughn, we have a bit
names.
that's carrying over from the last episode.
Oh yes,
you
please.
wanted to tell me something about job.
Oh, yeah. Should I go first?
I meant, yeah. Okay. I've decided. I mentioned something about job classes, and I asked Vaughn if he had like a favorite across any fantasy property or role playing games, and you kind of said Paladin, but then in between episodes you're like, oh, I thought of something.
Yes.
So let's hear it.
And it's not quite a class,
Okay.
but it's an archetype that I really like across both like RPGs, but also like books, movies
Okay.
of a fantasy setting.
Sure.
I was really like the the person. So in a magic world like this, the person who's really, really capable but can't use magic, like doesn't have the benefit of that, but still has like something that sets them physically or in some way they're still able to be like a powerful, capable person in that setting.
Okay.
So like, okay, in this case, Cormag is just a dude with a spear.
Sure.
He has no magical abilities,
Sure.
but I guess he's a dragon. He rides.
Yeah.
But he like, everything beyond that is just his like ability.
Just raw strength.
Yeah, just like his ability to fight pretty much. And like there's something
I guess I didn't
cool
realize
about
that's an archetype.
Well, because like there's characters like that in like Aragon. There's a guy named Rorin. So Aragon himself has like this magic ability, right?
Well, Aragon is a person.
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, okay.
I thought Aragon was like a place or a realm.
Oh no, it's the main character.
Okay. Who names a book series after the main character? That's really lame.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you can phone up Christopher Paolini at hotmail.com.
Looking at you, Harry Potter.
Yeah, phone up the email.
But at least they had subtitles. I guess Aragon probably has subtitles too.
Probably. Yeah. But
Well, because there's a bunch of books and they're obviously not all called Aragon.
no, that's right. But the movie's trash.
Is it just the first one called the first book is called Aragon?
Yep, the first book's called Aragon.
What's the second book called?
Eldest.
Oh, okay. I take back what I said then.
Okay. Yeah, they're not all.
The series is named Aragon, I guess, which is kind of lame.
Yeah,
But I guess
mean, technically it isn't called. It's called the Inheritance Cycle.
Oh,
Is the name like the proper name of the
that
series?
is fancy.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool
But
name.
most people call it Aragon.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I think the movie had something to do with that too.
Yeah, that'd be like if the Redwall series was called Martin.
Because he's like the
patriarch of
the main man.
all the good guys. Yeah, throughout the ages. God damn, that's a good book series.
But in Aragon has a cousin named Rorin who doesn't have like this magic ability that Aragon is blessed with.
Oh, okay.
But he still like rises through the ranks and like becomes capable because of his own strength, kind of.
Okay.
So like a character who's in a place where magic is predominantly the way that business is done and like strength is measured, but it has like something of their own that like makes them strong.
They still find a way to be a hero.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess I am
Like
a fan
the
of
common man who is able to.
Yeah. I was gonna boil it down a little further. Yeah. Say like I like the archetype of the character who kind of feels insignificant or feels like they're not living up to their potential, and they're kind of like frustrated with that. But they still find a way to like be amazing, even if they don't necessarily overcome that certain hurdle that they think is holding them back.
Yep.
Like Zelda in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
She's a good like tragic hero in that sense.
Yeah,
like she thinks that everything's her fault because she didn't
she
do what she was supposed to do
at every step. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good example.
But she's succeeding at other stuff.
Yes. And I feel like she also doesn't know how much she's like actually succeeding. You know, kind of. Where it feel like she's doing better than she thinks she is.
Right.
Kind of.
She's just fixated on one particular thing.
Yeah.
She's fixated on the things that she can't do rather than what she's actually doing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a common one.
I'm trying to think of an example that you would know better of like this kind of specific thing I'm thinking of. Maybe like Gimli.
Okay.
Just because his strength is what makes him able to hold his own.
Sure.
Because I guess you could kind of say that elves are more blessed in having like
they're like
an
adept.
innate magical like sixth sense.
They have like finesse and grace.
Yeah. And of course they live
for a long time.
Yeah. And he's just a dwarf.
Yeah.
But he's still
but he still makes himself valuable.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I in general like that character or that whoever fits that archetype.
And let's all take a moment to be glad that Lord of the Rings isn't called Frodo.
Or in The Hobbit's called Bilbo.
Yeah. You read the Frodo series? Frodo Baggins series?
Frodo.
Yeah, let's all be glad that it's called Lord of the Rings instead. All right, Vaughn, I'm holding something very special in my hands here.
What are you holding?
This is my copy of Final Fantasy Anthology.
What is that?
Which, for anyone that doesn't know, this is the PlayStation 1 port of Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI. After Final Fantasy VII came out on the PS1, everyone was super confused because we had only gotten 3 Final Fantasy games in America before that. And, you know, I'm sure there were some large number of people that knew that there were more, but for a lot of people, they had no idea. So they're like, how is this number 7? Mm-hmm. And so they felt the need to go back and like educate everyone as well as re-release the unreleased games. So this was the first time that anybody, or not anybody, but this is the first time most people had a way to play Final Fantasy V.
Okay.
Because it was a Super Nintendo game, but it was released in Japan only.
Did it never make it to GBA like 4?
Oh, it did, but that was way later than this.
Okay.
I mean, this came out in 1998.
Okay.
They were releasing these like right around the same time as Final Fantasy 7 and 8. And they made it so that you could play all of the Final Fantasy games, with the exception of Final Fantasy 3, on a PlayStation 1. Because they released a collection called Final Fantasy Origins, which is 1 and 2, on a disc. And then they released Final Fantasy Chronicles, which is Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger, which is super strange. I don't know why they chose Chrono Trigger instead of Final Fantasy 3, which was an NES game. And then they released this one, Anthology, which is 5 and 6. So this is a big deal. I was getting into Final Fantasy. I remember the day that I got this game. My dad bought this game for me. We were in a mall. I don't remember what store it was, but it would have had to have been like a Suncoast or something like that. Like I think it was a store that didn't just sell games, because it could have been like an EB Games, but I don't think it was. I don't think my dad would have gone into just a game store. I think we were in like a movie store that also had games, and I was looking at the games. And he bought me this, and one of the main reasons he bought it for me was because there's a bonus CD in here that has music selections from both games.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I was like, Dad, there's a music CD in here, and I'm going to be able to listen to it in my CD player.
5 and
6.
And 6 is
6 was on the Super Nintendo as Final Fantasy 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
You explained this to me once, and I just got so lost that I couldn't quite keep it all straight still.
But yeah, this is really cool. The music selections on the CD are actually pretty cool too. I remember playing it in my PlayStation 2 and also in my stereo and thinking I was really cool. But the reason why I pulled this out actually is because I wanted to look at the booklet. There's a dual manual in here for Final Fantasy V and for Final Fantasy VI.
Quick question.
Sure.
Is there red underneath Garrick? I can't tell.
Red underneath Garrick.
Like is Garrick's tile?
Yes, there is red underneath the tile below Garrick.
What under his sprite? Like is Garrick's tile?
Oh no, it is not.
Okay.
It's just the one below that.
Oh, I can see the brown. Okay, I just want to make sure he can't get hit.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. So there's a dual manual in here, one for Final Fantasy V and one for Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy V is the job class game.
Okay.
The game is all about job classes. You go and you save.
Are some not Final Fantasy? In Final Fantasy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, I mean that in the sense that there are a ton of job classes and you can choose your character's job classes.
Okay.
Not just like, oh, this guy's a knight and this girl's a white mage.
Yep.
This guy's a black mage, and you play them as that the whole game.
Most you can choose from the
You choose.
onset.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, not from the onset.
Okay.
They're all kind of naked from the onset, but basically the premise of the game is there's these 4 crystals that control the balance of nature, and this evil guy is going around and breaking them to send the world into chaos. Mm-hmm. And whenever you get the pieces of the crystals, each one corresponds to one of these jobs. So every time,
what?
So every time you save,
281 misses.
Wow.
Back to back.
That's insane.
Crunch the numbers.
That's low.
That's
really low.
That's like 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, each time you save one of the crystals, you get like a handful of jobs. And you can like switch your characters back and forth. And when you have mastered certain aspects of one job, you can switch them to a new job, but then carry over some of the things from previous jobs. So basically, if you've mastered a handful of jobs, you can kind of make your own custom character.
Oh. Okay.
But I was just going to go through and like describe some of these jobs to you, so you could get an idea for which of these Final Fantasy job classes are your favorites, because this kind of covers all the bases.
Like, you mean like of the whole genre?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first round are like the really common ones. Knight, monk, thief. Like those are all from Final Fantasy 1.
Okay.
And then you also have Lancer and Ninja. So a Lancer is just like a spearman user. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Their special command is jump, where they jump up in the air for one turn and then come back down the second turn.
Oh, that's cool.
The Final Fantasy version of Pokemon's Fly.
Okay.
And then a Ninja...
Yeah, isn't it attack as well?
Well, yeah, that's what it means by special command. Because, like, on a Final Fantasy battle screen, you have, like, fight, magic, item, defend.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
Dude, we got stoned.
You got stoned?
420.
Dude, Noel is...
Vape Nash.
He is an unlucky goth kid. So...
Yeah, he does have...
It's only natural that he would rip a bong.
We decided to give him a little more luck. We gave him 2 extra.
That's right, but he's still by far the unluckiest of our bunch.
Yeah, he's hurting on luck.
And then Ninja, their special command is throw. So in Final Fantasy games, the special thing about ninjas is that you can like choose any item and throw it at the enemy.
Okay.
Whether it's like a weapon in your inventory or like a potion, and it'll do damage based on what it is.
Okay.
So those are the first 5. Next we have a samurai. Special command is coin.
Already like it.
Coin toss.
Coin toss.
Which is you can attack by throwing your money.
Like your G in game.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. It'll do damage based on the amount of money that you throw them. Then there's a berserker, which means they're always in berserk mode, which means they just attack over and over and over, and you can't. They're like locked in. They can't do anything else. So they have high strength, but you don't get to control them basically. Mm-hmm. And then there's a
so you get petrified if you get stoned.
Right.
So you're just...
Yeah, and I saw there was a counter on the stats screen.
Yep. Must be how many turns you have left. He's just back. Unceremoniously.
Nice. Oh, you healed him.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Used to restore staff.
Next is the hunter, who can use bows. is a special command called Aim, where you can like raise your hit percentage.
Okay.
If there's an enemy that dodges a lot.
Yep.
You can also call for animals of the forest to help you in battle.
Animals of the forest.
Yeah, dude.
Very cool.
You can attack 4 consecutive times, but for each successive attack, the attack power is cut in half. Next up is a sorcerer.
Holy shit. 45?
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sacred weapons are really good against monsters. That's right.
Ah, I forgot he had the third one. There's only 3, right?
Sacred weapons?
Yeah.
No, we have like 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like
I think
one
we have
for all like the main
2
classes.
from each of the kingdoms so that we've been to so far.
Oh.
Each kingdom
So does that
has,
mean
like,
there's
2.
more of them that we're gonna get?
I think Rouston will have some. We haven't been to
Sweet,
Rouston
dude.
yet.
That's awesome. Sorcerers imbue weapons with magic. That's their special ability. So you can like cast a specific type of magic onto a sword, and then that sword will hit with like fire damage or ice damage.
Okay.
But it'll use like a physical attack stat rather than a magic stat.
Okay.
Next up, you got your white mage, which you are very familiar with. Healing spells and buff spells. Then you got your black magic, which is elemental magic. Then there's the time mage.
Time mage?
Yes. The time mage can use things like haste and slow to speed your characters up or slow enemy characters down. Or they can cast stop to like freeze enemies for a couple turns. Things like that. Time magic is pretty cool. Then there's a summoner who can summon large beasties to do attacks. And then there's a blue mage. Blue mage learns the abilities of other enemies.
Interesting.
So the enemy has to use their attack on you, and then you learn it. And then you can use it against anybody. Blue mages can also examine an enemy's like max HP and MP and weakness, like see their stats. And learn their characteristics. And then you have a red mage, who is like a jack of all trades of black and white. They can use a little bit of white magic, a little bit of black magic, but they can't use the best spells that a black mage or a white mage could use of their own. So it's like a trade-off there. And then red mages can also use like small swords and knives and do some physical attacking too. So they're kind of like little all-arounds. Then there's a trainer, also sometimes called a tamer, where you can weaken a monster in battle and then capture it and then summon it to like attack later on. So you can control, or you can try to control a beast within the battle and have it try to attack its allies. There's a chemist, where if they use like a potion or something, the potency is increased. Or they can like...
They use a potion?
Yeah, like a healing item like any kind of item, they can like increase the potency of it.
That's kind of cool.
And then they can also like...
It's like an apothecary.
Exactly.
Kind of,
yeah. That probably didn't fit on the Super Nintendo, so they used chemist instead.
Apothecary.
Yeah. They'd have to call it like apothecary.
Or alchemist or something.
Yeah.
Might be a modern...
Yeah, exactly.
Analogy. Analogous class. Whew. That's tough to say.
Had to use the bigger word.
Yeah.
Chemists
I'd already committed.
Chemists can also...
I'm saying analogous, but I couldn't quite spit it out.
Sorry, Vaughn. We'll give you full credit for that one.
Full marks.
Yeah. Chemists can also mix 2 healing items together. So like you can take a potion and then a ether, and then use it on one character, and their HP and MP will go up instead of having to use 2 different items on 2 separate turns. So they're pretty cool. There's a geomancer, whose magic abilities depend on the type of terrain that they're in.
A what?
A geomancer.
Geomancer.
So like instead of like a black mage who can just summon ice at any time or fire at any time, a geomancer, might be able to use like an earth spell if you're on the side of a mountain, but if you're on a beach, they'd have to use like a water spell or a wind spell, and they wouldn't be able to use that same like avalanche type thing. It's kind of a weird class. They can also see traps if there are traps nearby.
Is that on the overworld map?
Yeah, or like dungeons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Next up, Bard.
I'm a bard. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm in a band called Bards of the Goddesses.
Yes.
And we have little buttons that say bard on them.
Just to let everyone know that you're a bard.
Yeah. Like someone, at a con was selling like different class. They all had different RPG classes like that, and they were bard ones, so we had to indulge.
So typically a bard is a support character. Their main thing that they do is they sing songs that provide, stat bonuses to the party, or they can sing songs that like lower the enemy's defense by soothing them or something like that. In Final Fantasy V, a bard can also use the command hide. And when a bard is hidden, he cannot be targeted by attacks.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Next up is the dancer, who, very similar to a bard, can do specific dances that can buff the party or debuff the enemy.
Okay.
They have the command flirt.
Affecting, instead of like boosting your allies, negatively impact the enemy, sort of.
Yeah, well, exactly the same as a bard. Because bards can also do those things.
Oh, okay.
Just a different aesthetic.
Okay.
But a dancer can also flirt. And when successful, enemies become nervous or anxious.
That's funny.
Oh, actually, it looks like dances
14.
can only cause effects on the enemies in this game. Lastly is the mime, whose specialty is just to imitate the previous character's action.
Okay.
So, like, that could be used to your advantage because you have 4 other party members. One's a black mage, and one is, a swordsman or whatever. And instead of having to say, oh, well, I guess because I want to use this protect command, I'll have to have 2 knights. You could just have the mime follow the protect, but then maybe on the following turn, you have a mime, a black magic spell or something like that. And then become kind of more versatile. Those are all of the job classes in Final Fantasy V, I think. I feel like there was a dragoon one, but
as a kind of someone you can choose multiple paths for,
like this, like in Fire Emblem, like the job classes that evolve into another variant,
or do they all start as like a blank slate that you can kind of take into any of these different routes?
In this
or
game,
do they start like this, where they have a class, but then they have a couple options within that?
No, in this game, everyone starts bare with no job.
Interesting.
And you can make them any job you want.
That's cool.
Like in my file, all the characters are maxed out in every job.
Okay.
Just because that's how I roll.
Everyone can become every job.
Yes.
Interesting.
So like if your character masters...
That's cool.
Masters ninja and red mage and dancer, you can actually go in, you get to choose your commands that you have, and you can borrow any single one from a mastered class that you want.
Okay.
To like make a custom character. So it's like, oh, I want him to be able to have the thing from Chemist where he can mix 2 items together, and then he can cast black magic.
Okay.
But he's currently using the, hunter class, so he's using a bow as well.
Okay.
So you can have like I think it's 2 equipped abilities from other classes, and then you also always have the special command of whichever job you currently have equipped. So you can get some fun little customizations in Final Fantasy V. It's a cool game. It's definitely the silliest Final Fantasy.
In like what way? Just plot
like
wise,
it has the most comedy.
Okay.
It's definitely an underrated one. Vaughn, there's a sody pop down there.
We're gonna need to taste that.
Is it time to taste?
Your boy's getting thirsty.
Your boy right here is getting thirsty too. It's hot in here.
It's hot.
It's very hot.
It's very hot in here. So
this room is so hot.
It gets really warm. I mean, in three screens.
So should we do it after this turn?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
I will get ready. Readier than I already am.
Are you gonna film it from down
We've got a ways to go.
On the turn here?
Yeah, don't we? Or are we currently in the enemy turn?
It's the enemy turn.
Oh, let's do it.
All right.
What do you got there, Vaughn?
Town Club, baby.
Town Club.
Michigan Cherry.
This might be the first.
These are tall boys.
That's a big one.
ounces.
16 ounce, yeah. This might be the first town club that we've had a tasting video of on the snack log.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. We have
let's
had
bring
a
it
lot
into
of love
style,
for
huh?
town club.
We do love Town Club, by the way.
We haven't been showing it.
If that was unclear.
We're sorry, town club. We love you.
So, Michigan Cherry, though, down the hatch.
Yes, there's also a Michigan Berries variant of Town Club that's delicious too, not to be confused with Michigan Cherry.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
What do you make of that?
It tastes a lot like a melted freezy of the red variety.
Oh, okay.
And I like that kind of that flavor.
Nice,
It's
dude.
really, really, really
classic
good.
cherry. Then
It's very juice,
it's very juice.
like juice, but not juicy because it's
That's kind of what Town
very
Club
light
specializes
juice.
in.
Yeah. You should take some.
Good stuff.
But I'm giving this a good score. This is on the cherry side. This is probably 9.5.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, very, very, very good.
That's a good score. We went a little into overtime there.
Did we?
But we'll
To
make
OT.
it work. And Vaughn has been so gracious as to let me
Cup it up.
cup some of this because the Town Club is such a high capacity soda.
I made a Cuphead joke. Don't worry. I made a Cuphead joke.
Yeah, don't
about
worry,
Cup.
guys. Vaughn made a terrible Cuphead joke.
That's great. I said, you can head up that effort. Because
that smells really good.
Ha ha ha. And he also laughed really hard at that joke.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Isn't it?
It's just a classic cherry.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the super tart cherry when it comes to cherry stuff because otherwise it gets a little too medicinal.
Yeah.
But this is okay.
Yeah, black cherry definitely starts to get too medicinal for me.
It's weird. I'm the
tasting
opposite.
A lot more like cough syrup and
It's really interesting that you feel that way.
yeah.
Because to me, like, all the medicine that I had as a kid was either cherry or grape.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I don't like artificial grape anything. And it's the main reason why I don't like much artificial cherry stuff either.
Okay.
Is because it reminds me of medicine.
But you don't get that with black cherry.
But I don't think that with black cherry.
You think it more with regular cherry?
I think it more with
For some
regular
reason,
cherry, yeah.
Maybe it was just like the specific cough syrup I had or used more as a kid
Could be.
that my parents had. Maybe it was like a darker cherry taste, but it was
Yeah, it could be.
when I first had any black cherry anything, I was like, whoa, that is
Medicine.
dangerously
Yeah.
approaching. Because I think I bought it thinking it was like cherry cola as well, and it definitely wasn't. This was pre-boys. I was not well versed in the
Yeah.
the
You
soda
weren't a soda
world.
jerk yet.
Yeah. Though I definitely am now. I'm proud of it. So thank you to the boys for that.
I feel like an asshole so regularly. Somebody was talking about sodas,
Oh, and you were just like,
and
talking
I
about-
just wasn't saying anything. I was like, I'm not gonna like be like, well, I only drink craft sodas. I was just not saying anything.
Yeah.
But then somebody brought me into the conversation, and they were like, well, isn't it blah 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 blah? And I had to just be like, well, I didn't know how to say it without sounding like a douchebag, and it just came out as, well, I just don't really drink regular soda. Mm-hmm. And then the person was like, oh, here we go, because they know about me, and I was just like, I'm sorry, it's just true.
yeah.
Because I was getting into a conversation because I couldn't remember if Mellow Yellow was caffeinated or not. Because my buddy was at rehearsal and he had a really bad headache, and he had mentioned, he's like, yeah, that Mellow Yellow didn't do anything. And I was like, well, isn't Mellow Yellow not caffeinated? Isn't that the whole point? Isn't it like it's supposed to be Mountain Dew, but it's not caffeinated, and that's why it's mellow? Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, I just thought it was like the Coke version of Mountain Dew instead of the Pepsi, Mountain Dew. And then I was suddenly unsure of myself. And I didn't bother to look it up, so I still don't know. But
I think it's caffeinated.
I was convinced that then why would they call it mellow? What's mellow about a caffeinated beverage?
Good point.
I mean, I guess it just rhymes, but... Also, does anyone remember what Mellow Yellow used to look like before they randomly changed the look of it? Like 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was green. It was always green and yellow, I thought.
Well, the color scheme was the same, but the way they changed the logo and everything is totally different. I'll have to put them on the screen. There you go. Boom.
It's been found.
But yeah, the Mellow Yellow used to be one of those sodas that like a lot of people hadn't heard of.
Really?
Or at least in my circle. I didn't know what Mellow Yellow was when I was a kid. You know? And then like recently it like resurfaced. I don't know, maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe it's more popular in the Midwest.
Maybe it is more, because I always knew it growing up, for sure.
Because I had never heard of Mellow Yellow, and I don't think until I moved here.
Oh, whoops. Wrong one. Oh, what? Oh, wrong staff.
Oh, well. Did you waste someone's turn?
I didn't waste his turn. I just grabbed the wrong staff. It doesn't... No one's in danger, though. It was just... I just wanted to speed things up.
Yeah, this has been a very... I mean, you said that this mission was dangerous, but it has been very safe.
This is the safest it's ever been when I've played it.
Oh, okay.
Every other time I've played it, it's been super... Because I think what these guys spawn with is different.
Oh,
and
really?
One time, or a bunch of times, I would get like...
There's like 2 different spells they can have?
Well, it's 3, actually.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I think a bunch of them down in this corner would get Shadow Shot.
Which goes really far?
Yeah, and so then I would be up way over here fighting, you know, or maybe way up here fighting this
and they'd
stuff.
Be hitting you from
and they'd
super
be
far
hitting
away?
Me from way down there and just destroying
I see.
me. Like,
I
and
see.
they would hit me, they would shoot at me 3 times on one guy. And it's only like a 40% hit rate, but they'll shoot you 3 times. And then one of those times is probably going to hit you.
Right.
And then some other guy would just walk up and do like 5 damage and kill me.
Wow.
It's like, I was getting destroyed sometimes doing this level.
Damn.
This has gone very smooth.
That's good.
Thankfully.
Yeah, you got the luck of the boys on your side.
Yep. The RNG is with us today. So.
RNGesus.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I had the time to investigate and learn the Twitch Plays Pokemon lore to its fullest extent. Because it's like
is there like
it's like the deepest rabbit
mythology
hole
to it?
Oh my god, dude, are you not familiar?
No, I haven't really.
I mean,
been in the know.
Obviously, you're familiar with Twitch Plays Pokemon, right?
Yes.
It's for anyone that doesn't know. It was a playthrough of Pokemon Red that took place over the course of several weeks that took button inputs from Twitch chat.
So it's from chat.
So no one was actually playing the game, and people had to type the word down in order to move the character down, and you'd have to type the letter B in order for the button B to be pressed.
So it was coded
so as you can imagine,
interesting.
It was impossible to get anything done in the game.
Yeah.
And it went through like these arcs where like a certain part of the way through the simulation, the person who was running it changed the way that the button inputs worked and did it on a timer. So it would accept inputs for like 10 seconds, and then after the 10 seconds, it would input the input that was voted for the most. And then people got mad at that, and he had to come up with a new algorithm that combined the instantaneous original one with the voting one. And people could instead of typing in inputs, they could vote for the different input methods. And like every minute it would like switch to the one that was voted for the most or whatever. And so that kind of gives you the framework for how it worked. But the lore is insane because like almost every Pokemon got nicknamed. You know, and then you can imagine
did they all get like coherent names? Or?
No.
Okay, they're just like
there was one that was like 8 V's, and then there's ones that are just like random letters. But then the people tried to make a significant name out of that mash of letters, based on their role and how they, you know, became there's like, for example, there's a Pidgeot. And his name, I don't remember what his name actually is in the playthrough, but he's referred to as Bird Jesus. Because I think he like saved the playthrough at one point. And then there's a Zapdos that's just named like period Z or something like that. Yeah. And
just like nonsense, gibberish.
The Charizard or the Charmeleon or Charmander starter was like released like pretty early on in the playthrough.
Like just because of...
And he's referred to as like a fallen hero, you know, in the lore. And it's just insane. Like, if you go and try to read up on Twitch Plays Pokemon lore, it's like, it's an insane rabbit hole. But like, if you were to try to go back and try to watch, like, you can watch Twitch Plays Pokemon, you can watch the whole thing, but it would take you like months to watch through it all, because it took place over the course of like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and watch the chat and try to like follow along the lore in like a wiki file, but I don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that I wish I had the time to do that. I wish I had the time to just sit there and throw the playthrough up on the TV and then throw a wiki up on my phone or another screen and just like follow along the playthrough and like watch the lore develop and like be a part of it all the way through until I just, you know, couldn't stay awake anymore and then sleep and then wake up and continue.
So you said it was kind of
until I was fully immersed.
It was kind of a combination of, and the end algorithm was a combination of like a thing, aggregating what people are saying in the chat as commands and voting essentially,
yes.
As well as
I forget what the two different modes were. Like the one that took the inputs immediately, and then the one that took the votes. But yeah, you could input inputs, or later on in the playthrough, you could input which of the input methods you wanted, or like you could vote for it to switch, or something like that. The still unnamed streamer, by the way. People still don't know who created Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Really?
Yeah, they have not named themselves.
Like, and they like, this account has done nothing else, or what?
Well, the Twitch Plays Pokemon Twitch channel is still going. It's going 24/7. Like, it has this crazy Pokemon Battle Revolution simulator going most of the time, where people can like basically gamble. Like, random Pokemon will be put into the game with random move sets, and the battles will just play out in real time, and people can vote on these like gambits and stuff, and it's like super complex. I don't know, I watched it for like 30 minutes one time, and I had pretty much no idea what was going on. But yeah, it's still it's crazy how quickly it grew too. Let's see here. I just pulled up like a wiki on the Pokemon Red Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Okay.
The stream saw an average of around 30 viewers on day one.
So it started tiny.
So just like
microscopic.
Yeah, nothing. Early in day two, however, in Mount Moon, quickly reached 4,000 viewers in the middle of the day. Viewership continued to rise at an alarming rate.
Must have been pretty organic.
Until the stream reached its all-time viewership peak at 6 days, just after Giovanni's defeat, 123,000.
Holy
viewers.
Shit.
From there, the number of viewers started to decline, though.
This guy's going.
But when he got to the Elite Four, it went back up to like 109,000.
So it's like people still don't know whose concept this is. Like, that's still in the dark.
Yeah, they don't know. This guy has specifically said, I don't want any kind of notoriety for this. I don't want money for this. He just says that like he was a guy who was bored and wanted to see what would happen. There is a Guinness World Record certificate for Twitch Plays Pokemon Red for the most participants on a single player online video game, which is 1,165,140 who played Pokemon Red. So that's how many unique people played the game throughout its run.
Okay. That's huge.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
So is it saying, can you say that number again?
1,165,140.
Contributing to one playthrough of a single player game.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Insane.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
That's really cool.
So we have the major events / items. The first of which is Bloody Sunday.
This is like a notable event that happened.
This is the fan name for Twitch Plays Pokemon, yes.
Okay.
Bloody Sunday was a PC shuffle that occurred on Sunday, February 23rd, 2014, the 11th day of the playthrough. Day 11 saw many major events in the playthrough occur, most notably the capture of Zapdos in the power plant, and the accidental deaths of 12 Pokemon, for which the day got its notorious nickname.
How did they die?
Okay, so Zapdos was basically the only reason that they were able to beat the Elite Four. It's a miracle that they were able to capture Zapdos. It's just a miracle. He's really hard to capture just by yourself, but the fact that they were able to weaken him without killing him and collectively choose the right Pokeball
that is
in the
amazing.
menu,
Yeah.
like if you have watched like 20 seconds of Twitch Plays Pokemon, you would understand how incredible it is. So here we go. Bird Jesus was sent out, which is a Pidgeot, although the stream made no attempts to attack Zapdos and instead made its way into the item menus. After several attempts, players were finally able to select the Master Ball.
Wow.
Zapdos was caught and nicknamed A, dash lowercase j, which was later come to mean Anarchy Jesus, the Archangel of Death.
Oh my god.
Anarchy mode.
Oh,
that's what it was. Anarchy mode means the input is taken as soon as that's put into the chat.
Okay.
That's what they named that mode, was Anarchy. And he was caught under Anarchy mode, so that's why they named him Anarchy Jesus.
Because anything could happen during that, like every input.
Every input was taken. Unless the game
inputs.
Yeah, so there's the period of where the game is buffering between inputs where they're not accepted. So it's like a random lottery of,
so not everything's just happening like in a mess,
right? Because
in the instant.
There's like hundreds of inputs happening a second, but the game can only take one every couple of frames.
Okay.
But when Zapdos was caught, the party was full, so he went straight to the PC. So then they had to go to the PC to get Zapdos. Approximately 1 hour after Zapdos' capture, players accessed the power plant PC to replace a Pokemon in the party with him. The stream was in Anarchy mode at this time. Players first deposited Air, the Lapras, followed by Bird Jesus approximately a minute later.
Bird Jesus.
At the 8-hour, 22-minute, 5-second mark, Zapdos was withdrawn from the PC. The goal of the players was now to fill the last spot in the party. However, due to the mechanics of Anarchy mode, Zapdos ended up back in the PC. Various Pokemon were deposited and withdrawn, and 12 Pokemon were accidentally murdered, including Cabbage, Ducks, and Digrat. Ducks is the traded Farfetch'd. I don't know who the other two are. This was for a long time the largest single day of deaths in TPP history, not counting blah, 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 blah. What? Since then, the Anniversary Red playthrough saw a new record of deaths in one day. 15 Pokemon were lost during the Kakuna Wars.
The Kakuna Wars.
There's all these like periods of time that are named.
Like epochs.
Yeah, exactly.
Or significant events. That's
amazing. Final lineup of the party after Bloody Sunday was Bird Jesus, Dash Bat, Air, The Keeper, Rick Ghastly, and ATV. Which I'm pretty sure was a Venomoth. This lineup was notably different from the final one of the team. Yeah, they all have these like amazing names, but they're made from their terrible names.
Yeah.
I need to just find the... Let's see.
Miss? Nope. Okay.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so 2 of the Pokemon that were released on Bloody Sunday, new cut. And due to the difficulty of teaching a Pokemon an HM in Anarchy mode, this was disastrous that they released 2 Pokemon that had cut. Because of this, the players had to re-enter Rock Tunnel, which they had already traveled through before in complete darkness without flash.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. The origin of the name Bloody Sunday can be easily attributed to the great loss of Pokemon occurring on a Sunday, but in reality it goes deeper than that. Bloody Sunday is a name for several historical events, notably a demonstration in Northern Ireland in 1972 where British Army ended up killing 14 civilians. The first known use of Bloody Sunday to refer to the PC massacre was by Twitch user Gordzing.
Gordzing, huh? How's he doing?
That's so awesome. During Bloody Sunday itself and in its immediate aftermath, many different theories lore-wise formulated about the Deadly Shuffle. These ranged from Zapdos being Zapdome, another false prophet, to Zapdos being a necessary addition to the party, and the loss of many Pokemon, while tragic, was outweighed by the addition of a legendary Pokemon with powerful typing. When Lord Helix was revived from the Helix fossil a few days after, it was sometimes thought that the Pokemon released on Bloody Sunday were lost in order to allow Helix to be revived. So there's all this kind of shit like that, where it's like, oh, well, those Pokemon had to be sacrificed in order for this Pokemon to be... Oh, it's so amazing.
That is awesome. The more I think about it, the more of a miracle it is that
anything was able to happen in that game. Yeah,
that anything got accomplished, like, effectively.
Yeah,
I love it.
dude. Twitch Plays Pokemon is insane. There's so much you can learn. Let's see. This will be the last thing here.
All right.
The Twitch Plays Pokemon Red team. By the way, the wiki site for Twitch Plays Pokemon is Helixpedia. Because praise Helix.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with Praise Helix?
Yes.
You're at least familiar with that. Okay.
Though I don't know why it is a thing.
Well, because at the very beginning of the game, you have to choose which fossil you want in Mount Moon.
Yep.
And they chose the Helix fossil. I think because it's the default option. Alright, let's see here. Twitch Plays Pokemon has beaten every single Pokemon game, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, this is the same... Oh, here we go. Helix Fossil. Release of Abby and Jay Leno. That's one of the other significant things. All right, Helix Fossil. Let's see here. Helix, also known as Lord Helix, Helix Fossil, and Mighty Helix, is recognized as a major god in TPP lore by the majority of players. Let's see. After the Helix fossil was found in Mount Moon, because of the key item mechanic in the first generation of Pokemon games, accessing the item menu would make it appear, although it could not do anything. Because of this, many players began to see the Helix as a way to guide the player, similarly to the magic conch shell in SpongeBob SquarePants.
God, I love that.
Because of Helix's seemingly chaotic nature and the randomness with which it guided Red, it was seen as the symbol of anarchy, and its counterpart fossil, the Dome fossil, is seen as the representation of democracy. Oh, that was the voting one. So they were called Anarchy and Democracy. Helixism. Main article, Church of Helix. Many players established a religion worshipping the Helix, often dubbed Helixism. Although the details of Helixism are debated and vary widely from worshiper to worshiper, the majority of Helixists support anarchy, fight against democracy, and exclaim praise Helix often. Helixism evolved greatly during the first season, and some community members have named the evolved form of the religion New Helixism.
God. I love everything about this.
Isn't it amazing, dude?
It is.
On the 11th day, Helix was revived and became Ammonite. Ammonite continued to be addressed as Helix, and he stayed on the team for the rest of Season 1. Although much of Helix's activities were unknown during Season 2, it is likely he trained with Red because he appeared as a level 75 Omastar during the final battle on Mount Silver. Helix Wars. Lord Helix was finally killed in the Helix Wars by Queen Moon as revenge for Lady Helix, causing the death of her son. What? This caused Queen Moon to become a god to replace Helix. This must be from a later game or something.
Yeah.
There's so much here, dude. It's insane. I love it. Okay,
Praise
so
Helix.
here's the Hall of Fame team from Pokemon Red. This is what I wanted to get here.
Okay.
Up first is capital A dash lowercase j.
Zapdos.
Zapdos. Here are his nicknames. Battery Jesus, because double A. Anarchy Jesus, double AJ, John the Zaptist, Archangel of Justice, and Zapdome. He was at level 81.
When they fought the Elite Four?
Yes. AAJ, also known as Battery Bird, John the Zaptist, Bird Jesus 2, Electric Boogaloo. John the Zaptist.
John the Zaptist.
And then Bird Jesus 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my.
And many other nicknames.
God. This is so...
so good, dude. Strongest Pokemon that Twitch Plays Pokemon has ever owned. Yeah, he was massively over-leveled compared to the Elite Four. He was the only reason that they won. All right, he was the first one in the team. Next up is Air Jordan. Which is a Lapras named AIIIIIIRRR.
Air.
Yeah, known as Air Jordan, Air, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, God, I love this.
A Lapras gifted to Red. Yeah, pretty late in the game. Present for the defeat of the Elite Four in Blue. First one to learn Surf in the party. Let's see. Alright, there's not much there for us. Okay, that's our second Pokemon. Next up is ATV. Nope. That's the wrong page. Oh, this page is so slow. Sorry, guys. Here we go. ATV, which is a Venomoth.
Okay.
Actually spelled AATTVVV. Known as All-Terrain Venomoth, All-Terrain Vehicle, and the Dragon Slayer. Only level 39. And only had one attack, which was Leech Life. Wow. Holy shit. Obtained in the Safari Zone during Democracy in Day 9. Holy shit. The name Dragon Slayer comes from ATV's defeat of Lance's Dragonite, even though ATV was little more than half of its level. Wow. ATV was considered an afterthought, just being that one Pokemon filling the 6th slot since Bloody Sunday by many, until the moment he defeated one of Elite Four Lance's Dragonites by himself.
What? Using just Leech Life?
How the hell is that even possible?
It only had Leech Life?
It must have, well, it has Stun Spore, so it might have got a Paralyze on him.
And then just
and got really lucky cheese luck? Yeah, let's see here. The Gen 1 AI was programmed to always use attacks that would be super effective, but the PP of moves was not tracked on enemy Pokemon and did not differentiate non-damaging attacks from damaging ones. This led to the perpetual use of either Agility or Barrier, which raised the user's speed and defense by 2 stages respectively. Because ATV had used Poison Powder on Dragonite at the beginning of the match, and the opponent continued to use status moves, even though its speed and defense were maxed out, ATV remained unharmed while Dragonite slowly lost health to the poison and Leech Life and eventually fainted.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
So yeah, he cheesed the Gen 1 AI.
That sounds like some...
Because Barrier and...
something you'd need in Pokemon Stadium.
Barrier and Agility are technically Psychic-type moves, and because Psychic is super effective against Poison... the game is like, use the Psychic move, even though it doesn't do damage. Yeah. ATV was the only Pokemon left in Red's party still healthy at the end of the battle, which was the first of 2 times in which Red defeated Lance.
Healthy as in stat.
I don't. I'm guessing full health.
Status free. Oh
yeah. Okay. ATV was quickly defeated in battle by Blue afterwards. That's awesome. ATV, along with the Fawns, was still active.
The Fawns
was still active in Red's party when John the Zaptist delivered the final Thundershock to Blue's Blastoise. He was at level 36 and he beat a level 62 Dragonite.
In the Elite Four.
In the Elite Four. That's fucking amazing.
That's so awesome.
All right, next up is Bird Jesus. Bird Jesus is a Pidgeot. Sorry, this episode's going long, guys. It's just because this is great, and I want Vaughn to finish this mission. Bird Jesus, also known as Abba Jesus. because its name is spelled all lowercase AAABAAAJSS.
Wow.
Abba Jesus. So yeah, the JSS is where the Jesus comes from. Let's see. He was at level 69. Bird Jesus, officially named Abages on day 8, was the Pokemon of the Pidgey line caught by players on day 1 of the Gen 1 playthrough. Bird Jesus was the longest running character in Gen 1 in terms of his affiliation with the party. Considered the strongest Pokemon of Red's party for much of the playthrough. He was also the pioneer and the Kickstarter of the classic TPP tradition of the clutch Pokemon. An unnamed Pidgey was caught with a Pokeball in Route 3 on the first day, 14 hours in. Pidgeotto was not very popular until he received his leadership in the Rock Tunnel and earned him the nickname Bird Jesus. Later on, Bird Jesus evolved into his final form on the way to Celadon City after a major chat lag. The name raider gave Bird Jesus, up until then simply named Pidgeot, the name of Abages on the 8th day. So he actually started without a nickname and got it later on, after achieving his leadership of the party. That's the lore.
Like asserting his control.
Yeah, by getting his name. Following the demise of Abby, though still as a Pidgeotto, he turned out to be the highest level on the team. We don't know who Abby is yet. He carried the team through Erica's gym. At one point, he beat a trainer's Bulbasaur with 19 HP while paralyzed. Soon, people started to worship the Pidgeot as their savior and nicknamed him Bird Jesus, due to his potential to revert pretty ugly battles into victories. Soon, Bird Jesus started the tradition of the clutch Pokemon on the team. That's so awesome.
Oh, little Speed's getting all fire.
There are like artist depictions of them too. People have made new sprites to depict them with their personalities. That's amazing. Bird Jesus was the last Pokemon left on Red's team while facing Giovanni for the first time after navigating the Rocket Game Corner. Giovanni's last Pokemon was a Kangaskhan. Bird Jesus had an advantage in speed and both Pokemon had very low health, but Bird Jesus used the non-damaging move Whirlwind and ultimately fainted and Red blacked out. That's funny. Can you imagine, like, successfully making it all the way to that stupid Giovanni fight after all the, like, treadmills and the Rocket Game Corner, only to black out and have to go back and do it again?
Yeah.
I think they said that was the longest time they spent in any one area was when they were trying to get through the Rocket Game Corner with the fucking treadmills.
Yep.
I cannot imagine, dude. Okay, next up is King Fonz.
King Fonz.
I don't even know who this is. The Fonz. Oh my god, it's Nidoking. His name is just A. Maximum number of capital A's possible. Known as the Fonz or Moon King. Wow. Let's see.
I love how there's such a deep lore, even with just like these.
I love that he's called the Fonz because his name is A.
Oh, I get it. Gotcha.
Oh, it's so
That's
good.
Awesome.
The Fonz was originally a normal Nidorino from the Safari Zone. After the events of Bloody Sunday, ATV and the Fonz quickly became mainstays of Red's party afterwards. During the events of the Pokemon Mansion, the Fonz was the only Pokemon able to resist the constant poison and fire attacks coming from the wild Pokemon there. When Red became trapped between a table and a burglar trainer, the mob planned to white out the entire team in order to escape, but because the Fonz was so resistant to everything, it took a while before the mob escaped this trap. One of Fonz's most notable achievements was near the end of Victory Road. As Red approached the exit, he walked into the vision of an opponent, and the battle began with the entire party wiped out with the exception of the Fonz. Despite being up against 4 opposing Pokemon solo and being under-leveled, the juggler's unusual strategy of constantly swapping allowed the Fonz to wipe his team. Thus, Red was able to exit Victory Road and make his way into the Pokemon League. That's so awesome. There were just so many like classic moments like that made people want to make lore.
Yeah.
Let's see. King Fonz, blah blah blah. Yeah, the Moonstone. Let's see here. Because the lore had begun to turn to a holy quest, soon players felt that royalty would fit in with the party.
So he became a king.
So Fonz was
He
the
was
king,
anointed.
and then Air Jordan was the Prince of Bel Air.
Oh my god.
All right, and the last Pokemon in the Hall of Fame party is Lord Helix. So let's get the full story on Lord Helix here. Here we go. Come on, load. Load.
It's taking a while.
It is, yeah. Wikia sites are
Yeah.
like atrociously slow on mobile all the time. I don't know why. Oh my god, come on.
Oh man.
All right, here we go. We got it.
Come on, Helix. What do you got?
Omastar, Lord Helix, aka the Lord and Savior, the Almighty Helix, the Holy Helix. Oh, he didn't have a nickname. He was just Omastar.
Okay.
I love how everything is stated so matter-of-factly. Originating from the Helix fossil, it became one of the absolute main characters of Gen 1, spawning the Church of Helix religion.
The Church of Helix.
Omastar was unnamed, but its nickname spawns from the Helix fossil Red obtained at Mount Moon. Later evolved. By the time it hatched or revived into Omanite, it was already known as a benevolent god. The most accepted interpretation about Gen 1 is that Helix was in a war against the god of democracy, known as Lord Dome, which is the Dome fossil Kabuto. When Red chose to carry the Helix fossil, this gave the god of anarchy the advantage. Angered by this, the Dome tried to hinder Red's journey in many ways, the most notable and successful attempt being when the Eevee, the stream obtained in Celadon City, evolved into Flareon instead of Vaporeon. This meant a forced trip to the nightmarish PC, which resulted not only in release of Abby and Jay Leno, two of TPP's most favorite Pokemon, but also the depositing of Helix's prophet Bird Jesus and the fossil god itself. To make matters worse, Red had yet to pass through Team Rocket's hideout spinning maze. Yeah, that's right. Bird Jesus is the prophet who brought about the Lord Helix.
Okay.
This is so ridiculous. There's like 5 pages of this. There's something called the Hive Mind, which I guess refers to all the players. And then there's the streamer, and then there's the Hive Mind. But these are referred to as like branches of the religion of Helixism.
Or like parts of the Trinity, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Hey.
Oh, it's Lion.
Yep.
Back to Fire Emblem Sacred Stones for a moment. Did we finish? Did we beat everyone?
We did.
Hey, it's time to finally end this long episode.
Layun.
Layun. Erica. Lion, where are you?
I'm
Hold on, I'll save you.
yeah. Me being here
Yeah,
saves you.
he needs to be saved from having the ability to teleport around
He does.
free and willy-nilly.
He is mad though.
Lion's mad?
You mad, bro?
Like he's crazy mad, or he's like angry mad?
He's going mad.
Yeah, he's losing touch.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah. Oh,
What? My body's being ravaged by the Demon King. Wow. That has a sexual connotation.
does. So he's trying to lure her into giving him the stone.
Give me the stone.
Also saying that he loves her
I
still.
want a stone. Have you ever seen what is that, Babylon 5?
Nope. Though it's been recommended to. Oh, he's evil lion now.
Oh, he's getting ugly.
Yep.
What?
Is the text gonna turn black?
No.
Yep, there it is.
Oh.
How disappointing for you. The spot is mine now.
Do you think his voice changes too?
I'm afraid there's no hope of that. You see, I'm devoured.
It gets really high pitched.
There's nothing to heal. Not even the power of a sacred stone can craft something from nothing. He cannot be saved.
Says it in like a 3-year-old storybook voice.
Yeah.
As if it's something really happy.
And he's in the
Oh,
lava.
teleporting into lava. Whoa, that little explodey.
Yeah, that's the stone. He destroyed it.
He took her stone?
Yep.
Oh shit,
Sacred stone gone.
dude.
Got bamboozled.
freaking loser.
Yeah, and he's gone.
What's gonna happen now that she lost her stone?
I think there's only one left now.
Whoa.
Oh, look, she's got that kind of
that defeated,
distant look.
Just woke up from a coma.
Yep.
The coma that she's been in this whole game with that doe look in her eyes.
Yep.
It's like I can finally see. Oh, is she finally realizing that Lyon's bad?
Well, that he's not.
Oh, that he can't come back.
Come back. Yeah,
I got it.
He's gone.
She's getting sad.
Yep.
You can weep now. We haven't seen Seth in a long time, dude.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Are we ever gonna use him?
We might. Yeah.
We might. You're still not sure?
We could also.
Or you just?
I mean, he's also shippable.
Oh.
In fact, everyone here is shippable.
Just all of them together.
Yeah.
It's an open thing. All right, next week
On the boys.
on the show,
That boy was our last hope.
we've got more surprise Fortune Street on Wednesday.
Have you seen Lost Hope?
Star Wars
episode.
You sent it to me, but I don't
Whatever,
remember if I
Lost Hope.
watched the whole thing or not. I think I did. Anyways, more Fortune Street on Wednesday.
Fortune Street, that's right. Hype.
Yeah.
Hype, boys.
And then more Cuphead on Friday. Stream at the end of the month on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Backlog Boys.
Yep.
Instagram, Snacklog.
Yes, we've got snacks and soda reviews on there for you. Like
Twitter.
the one we did in this episode.
Twitter @Backlog Boys.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter and just say hello. If you got any recommendations or whatever. It's all good. But we'll see you next time.
We will.
And another chapter next time.
Perhaps.
Oh. Vaughn keeping it mysterious.
Yeah, but look at Rouston.
Sweet, dude.
Wanna roust him.
Well, we'll see you guys next time.
We're gonna roust in Austin.